Today on the channel, we take a trip over to Mattel Creations for the Mattel Creations Masterverse exclusive, Mossman.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Masters of the Universe Masterverse unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we go into the swamps, we go into the forest, we join up with Mossman. But for all your Mossman needs and a whole lot more, I guess Mattel Creations. But for everything else under the sun, hit up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there. And of course, Mossman, an absolute favorite of mine going back to my childhood days. And very cool to see him in the new Eternia line here as a Creations exclusive. We first saw him at San Diego Comic-Con 2025. And here he is today. A bit of a deluxe figure as well, which isn't always a bad deal. And of course, going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. So without further ado, let's check out old Mossman here. Plastic-free packaging, I guess, on this one. Looking a lot like Swamp Thing, of course. I always think of Mossman and Swamp Thing, very similar. At the end of the day, though, I always think of Mossman as like a skunk ape or a Bigfoot out there. A Yeti, maybe. Who knows? But definitely an interesting character throughout the years from the Masters universe. We did get a Masterverse figure of him. Of course, we will compare that later in this video as well. But looking good on the front. Got new Eternia down here. Got the wraparound packaging, which is very cool as it wraps around to the back where it shows new Eternia. And there's old Mossman doing his thing there. And it wraps around the front as well. So cool packaging design. Does it say anything on the back? Original design inspired by classic concepts. Masters Universe new Eternia. And he looks like Bigfoot stalking in the background is what it looks like to me. Now, we do get the blurb for him on the side of the box. What's it say here? The heroic spy and master of camouflage. With the shattering of New Eternia, Mossman's mind has been splintered across the 7 corners of the first planet. Sadly, this has driven him insane. No longer the keeper of the natural order, whispers of Mossman's madness have reached the ear of all explorers. Those who walk through the wild forest of New Eternia often do not return to tell the tale. So, like a demented Sasquatch there. So, a new story arc for our friend here. New Eternia on the side. Got a little more artwork here. What do we got going on? What is this? It says Mossman. Very cool. And then I guess you get this backdrop if you want that as well. So, I got some pterodactyls going back there. Something like that. Oh, and there's Eternia back there as well. So, very cool. Worth keeping, I would say, on that one there. And then well, we get a little box. How about Mossman's box right here? Heroic Spy, Master Camouflage. Camouflage right there. So we get to see what's inside his box. Behind the back. See you later. How about that? You know we're making it happen right there with, of course, the sky hook. It's lethal. It's lethal in the action figure game, as we know. Bam! See you later. Goodbye. We do get some vinage in here, I guess. Some vinage you can put over Mossman. I guess it's kind of like a belt that goes around him. Holds his sword on the side. Looking very cool. Got the little holster there. And then this is an extra hand, actually, here. So if you want to use this, like I said, Mossman and Swamp Thing, they got a lot of similarities. Not just being green, of course. They got some similarities. But that is very nice. A very Swamp Thing-like accessory. Talked about that sword. We got that here. Gold kind of plastic at the top. Got the wrapping on the handle. And then we got his big old stick, his mace, whatever you want to call it. He's going to hammer people across the head with this bad boy. It's even got a little pendant at the end. There's his weapon of choice. But now we're diving into Mossman, and we got him in the cardboard prison. Look at this. He's tied in there. He's tied in. How about that? We got the old rainforest twist ties is what's going on. That's what we call those, right, Todd? Todd McFarlane on the couch. You prefer a plastic twist tie. I know you. I don't even need to ask you that question. But these are the rainforest ones, the recyclable ones. What do you think about recycling, Todd? You hate it? Yeah, okay, I see. I don't want to offend people. Not everybody likes to recycle, so you just throw all your garbage. You don't care. Green garbage for recycling isn't a thing to you. I understand. See you later. Goodbye. To the recycling bin with that, Todd. That's what I'm going to do, you know. Reuse, reduce, recycle. They told me that in elementary, and I'm hanging tight to it. I'm hanging tight to it. See you later. Goodbye. Now we got Mossman out of the package, and man, oh man, I like the deluxe version of this one. To me, Mossman should be a little larger than life. He should be like a Beast Man, of course. He does look very, very nice. And we're going to start with the head sculpt here. Looks like a Sasquatch to me. Looks like Bigfoot. Smells like a Bigfoot too. How about that? He doesn't have that pine smell. I don't have that with him. And of course, I guess I should mention here, of course, it's the elephant in the room. Of course, usually Mossman, he's flocked usually. He's got some real hair, Todd McFarlane. Come on, Mattel, you chicken? You chicken to do a little flocking? You're chicken to give us some real hair? It is what it is, but would love to see that. You know me, I love a real fur figure, of course, but I understand why they went this way, and I'm not going to say it's a bad deal after all. This is a pretty fun figure, just looking at it right here. But as we dive into the head sculpt here, very Yeti-like right here. Got the bright green eyes, green skin tone color, green fur. Got some raised eyebrows there as well, so he's up to something. And he's got a little bit of teeth showing there. Got a big shawl over the top full of hair, which I guess it's his hairy body, I guess is what that is. I don't know if it's supposed to be his shoulder hair, if it's some growth, some vegetation, whatever you want to call it. It's there. He's got some vinage strapped in there. Now, you can remove this all if you want to. Of course, they're getting the most out of their molds. We know how they do it. Looking good. We got some spikes up at the top. He's going full Legion of Doom is what he's doing. Full Legion of Doom right there. Even some spikes on the bicep going there. Got some bicep guards over the top on both sides with both two spikes, a small spike and a big spike. And then you got some forearm guards here on the side looking pretty good. And then this side, just some wrapped up vinage going on this side. Now hands, we got a big gripping hand here and we got a kind of maniac hand going there. No extra hands with this set. So what you see is what you get in the hand department here. He does got that Mossman title belt here. Nobody will defend him or challenge him for it because he smells so bad. Nobody wants to take him on for that title. They're like, that title can't even be cleaned at this point. It's a little bit, got a patina to it. He's had it on so long. He's got a nice loincloth down front here. You got to protect your junk. We know how that goes, but it's full of foliage is what's going on there. So he's covering it like a young Adam and Eve once upon a time, I guess. And then you got the hairy legs down to the bottom, more vinage around the boots. I guess we'll call it the boots. Shush. Around the boots, I guess we'll call it the boots. I don't know what else we'd call it there. Got some big old feet going on here. And then, of course, you got some big old toes down here as well. Needs a pedicure and possibly a manicure as well. I'll just put that out there. Head back and forth, side to side, removable. Arms do go all the way around. No butterfly shoulders on this one, but you get the bicep cut. Double jointed, pinless elbows, playing all the hits. Hands going to be removable. I don't know why you'd remove them, but they could be. Back and forth, side to side. You get the hula hoop up top, a lot of movement right there. And then you got the traditional waist. Big old splits if you need them. Oh, we got the drop down hips on Mossman. Goes up for that big Mossman boot. Watch out for that, brother. Thigh cut, double jointed, pinless knees, boot cut, ankles, back forth, side to side. The usual articulation here from New Eternia, the Masterverse, and Mattel. A big figure, and I gotta say, one of the best Mattel Masterverse figures this year. I'm gonna say that. I really enjoy this figure a lot. He does fit on a Mattel ringside collectible stand if that is your thing. But this is a very cool figure. A very, very cool figure. I'm happy I got this in my collection. This is worth a pickup if you ask me. I guess you gotta be into Mossman a little bit, but Mossman would be one of my favorite characters. To get a bigger hulking version of him is a pretty cool thing, if you ask me here. And let's compare it to the previous version, which I like the previous version, but man, night and day. Just night and day right here between these two. And still, a lot of people will say, man, neither of these are my Mossman. This is my Mossman. This is the Classics version, of course, which is obviously based on the original version. I had the original version as a kid, absolutely loved it. Love the Classics version as well. Would not be opposed to a repaint, a re-release with the moss going all over him here, a little flocking action. I would not be against that, that's for sure. I know my good friend Robo, he would not like that, so he's probably more into something like this. I get it, I understand it. You like what you like, you don't what you don't. But give me the real fur, give me the flocking all day long. Would love to see them attempt that here, but probably not in the cards. Probably not in the cards. And I do got the last version of Beastman, as I always kind of think of him and Beastman being kind of similar creatures, similar characters. A little bit different, though. A little bit different here in some of the bodies. Some of the stuff's the same, it looks like. But some of the stuff definitely different between these two. So reuse with kindness as much as they possibly could do. But I'll take Mossman over this Beastman. There's no doubt about it. So a fun one here from the New Eternia Mattel Masterverse. Once again, a Mattel Creations exclusive. head over there if you want that, or maybe wait for a deal. The holidays are coming up. Maybe there'll be a deal. Maybe there won't. You never know. It's a roll of the dice, of course. But of course, what do you think about it? You picking up this Mossman? You need this in your collection? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you. Yes, it's true. There's more content to be had. I never thought this would be the case, but it is available, of course, over on Patreon and YouTube channel memberships. Check it out if you have not already. Sir Paul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show. Of course, at gmail.com. The name of my podcast every Tuesday, The Kyle Peterson Show. My wife, Angie, and I, we talk hairy bipedal creatures, among many other things. Check it out if you have not already, wherever podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. So for new Eternia Mossman, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we going to dance or are we going to play?